Time now for Sid Sixero. This is where I get 60 seconds to speak with my face. Breaking news, it snowed yesterday. Yes, I know. It's disappointing to some. But it's our job, like this guy, but it's our job to try and make you feel better. And during my time working in this business, I quickly realized that moments like this are the perfect time to talk baseball. Because talking baseball after a snowstorm always makes people feel better. Am I right? Yeah. Last week, the Blue Jays let the media have a peek at some of the renovations going on at Rogers Center. And it looks pretty cool, but the most interesting part to many baseball observers was how the outfield wall looks. It's taller, it's tricky, the chances of wild bounces was definitely increased here, which explains some of the Jays' offseason moves. Sportsnet's Shi Davidi wrote in his column, quote, "The new outfield further incentivized having strong outfield defenders, something the Jays already identified as an area of priority in the offseason. Renos look interesting. Bring on baseball." Pitchers and catchers report in 20 days. Let's go. Shi Davidi, the aforementioned of Sportsnet, joining us. Shi, how did that all look? I wasn't there at Rogers Center last week, but it looked fascinating. How much of a change is this going to be visually and from a baseball standpoint?
Very significant in both fronts, Sid. I think visually we're used in Toronto to having these cookie-cutter outfields, going back to Exhibition Stadium and the early iterations of the Rogers Center. It was just, this round half circle, and that there were no real characteristics to it. Now there are going to be different shapes. As you mentioned, there's going to be two areas where the wall appears to be about 15 feet tall. That's going to dip down lower into center field. There are going to be angles in the wall. So you're going to get some crazy bounces. You're going to get some times where there are plays that are just going to be distinctive to the Toronto outfield. And then the fan experience is going to be completely different as well. You're going to have these elevated bullpens looking over the field. You're going to have these porches where fans are going to be hanging out and over. So it's going to be a very different view for, the hitters looking out, for the outfielders playing the ball, and for fans enjoying the experience.
We got about 30 seconds. Offensively for the Jays, who've never had a hard time scoring runs in that park, what does this do?
Well, especially the two sections where the elevated bullpens are in left and right field. It looks like they're quite a bit shorter. Now, the wall's a bit higher, but it feels like some fly balls that earlier might have been caught are now either going to go off the fence or end up over it. And the Blue Jays try to what they say is try to neutralize the impact on offense of the changes to the fence. But it certainly looks like there's some balls that would have been outs before are going to be able to turn into extra base hits and maybe even some home runs.
I know there's a ton of snow on the ground and you might not feel like it, but pitchers and catchers report to Dunedin, Florida in 20-ish days. Bring it on. Shi Davidi, appreciate you, man. Go back to shoveling.
Take care, Sid.
See you, brother. He's one of the best.